All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Hope. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us every Saturday morning at 7:30 at 106 The Groove. We are excited to be with you again on this Saturday morning. You hear Dr. Hope always say, "Get up, get ready, get your clothes on, get your coffee." Get your donuts, get your bagel, because we're getting ready for a great show on this morning. Again, want to thank all of our partners that's being supporting the Fresh Start Show, tuning in with us every Saturday morning at 7:30. We are audio and we are video. Audio, you're listening to us right now on 106 The Groove at our station. But we also is a podcast, and we do have a visual part of our show where you can find us on YouTube as well. And so we're excited. Our show is about reform. Our show is about talking about the issues of law enforcement and the justice system, and our friends, our families who have been unfortunately incarcerated, and all of those things. So that's what our show is about, to make sure that we are a platform, a pulpit, and also a space where we can speak truth to power. Today we got a great show at hand. Before we go into that show, please be advised, save the date. The Fresh Start Expo will be taking place this October 21st, at the Tucson Convention Center. You know how we do it every year. We have our city courts, justice courts, juvenile courts, superior courts, county attorney's office, public defender's office, city attorney's office, plus our one-stop workforce that's going to bring us the job fair for people with felony backgrounds. That's all going down this October. Meet us there. Beat us there. Save the date, October 21st at the Tucson Convention Center. Also, we're doing two major events now. We're doing In the School to Prison Pipeline. That's going to take place at the Perla Verde High School from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, May 13th. So if we got kids that's been suspended, that's been in juvie, and they're turning 18, we're also going to expunge their records. You heard me. We're going to be working on to expunge their felony records on May 13th. People don't know that if you have a felony and when you turn 18, we can expunge your records. And so we will have the juvenile courts there. We will have our prosecutors, our public defenders there. Plus, we're going to have a keynote. We're going to have workshops. It's going to be a conference. In the School to Prison Pipeline Conference will be going down here in the city of Tucson under Fresh Starts organization at the Perla Verde High School, Saturday, May 13th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're looking for a great time. So please keep it locked. Keep that in the back of your head, when we talk about Save the Date. All right, listen, we got a great show for you on today. I have my crew in the house, the IMA, known as the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance of Tucson, where I've had the distinguished pleasure going on 9 years now of serving as the president. I cannot believe that much time has went by. I was elected president by being out of town. So I'm telling you right now, if you are part of the organization, show up to your meetings, because you might show up being the leader without even being there. So that actually happened to me. Actually, in I believe it was 2014. I was going away at a revival, and I was new to the city as a pastor. And that's a whole nother learning curve, being new to a city, pastoring in a new city, being a part of a new organization called the IMA, and then go out and preach for 3 days and come back and I'm the president of the organization. So, wow. So I cannot believe that much time has been going by. And I remember, and I didn't share this, so I guess I can share this on the show to be a little transparent. I was scared to death to be the president. And I was afraid to be the president is because everybody voted me in and was old enough to be my father, my grandfather. So I was saying to myself, well, how am I going to lead people that I'm trying to respect my elders, and not do anything wrong or anything like that. And I don't think I ever shared that with them. But I'm very happy about the IMA. The IMA is truly a beacon of light in the Tucson community. And it is a great historical organization that that offers worship services in one space, but also we put together a IMA CAT where we have town halls every month to address many of the issues that we see in our community. So today, we're excited. Obviously, we have my co-host with me, Tom Cortez, is with us. But then we have our special guest, the IMA. And the IMA is bigger than the figures that I have here. I just can't fit them all in one studio. But we have Pastor Jonathan Smith, who is my new appointed vice president. I went about 7 years without a VP. So 7 means what? Completion. So maybe God is saying something. Amen. So we have Pastor Smith with us as the vice president. We have Pastor Amos Lewis, who is currently serving and have been serving for a mighty long time in the space as the IMA CAT director, where we have 8 domains that he supervises and coordinates to make sure that we are putting on our town halls and our CAT meetings to address the issues in the community. And we have Pastor Grady Scott with us, who serves as the board secretary. And 2 of them were former presidents of the same organization as well, but they're still connected, still serving, still working hard. And want to say good morning to all of y'all. How y'all doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to be here.
Great. So Pastor Lewis, can you, being a former president, talk about the time that you were leading the organization and what were we trying to accomplish years ago when you were the president for its vision and mission?
Well, when I became the president, sort of like you became the president, I had just retired from the military after 21 years of active duty and been a bivocational pastor approximately 15 years at that same time. And I went to an IMA meeting because I was looking forward to finally having a full-time, job as a pastor. Wanted to connect with the pastors and preachers in the city. And I did that. I went to that meeting, and I went to that first meeting, and they elected me to be the president. So it was a baptism by fire. But as I became the president, we put together a vision statement. It was to build a national and international network of like-minded ministers to empower our communities and exalt our Christ. So that was the vision that I casted at that particular time. Also, the mission was to unite and equip our ministers to serve effectively and efficiently in ministry in their local churches as well as in the community as large. And then our focus is to organize the ministers so that we can first and foremost reach the African-American clergy in the city. And secondly, we wanted to reach out and create a network of individuals and organizations and groups so that we could, those groups who share our values and interests so that we could work together. Our little tagline is Together for Tucson. It takes teamwork for the dream to work. And we focus primarily on the African-American community because of the issues and problems that we have in our community. Acts 1 and 8 is our guiding principle. We call it the Jerusalem principle. We concentrate our energy as well as our efforts so that we won't be exclusive, but so that we might be effective. And then we came up with 4 purposes for the organization. We have 4 purposes. The first one is to share our Christ. The second one is to serve the clergy. The third one is to strengthen the churches. And the fourth one is to support the community.
Wow. Awesome. Which is, we have a super dope, prolific and didactic type of mission and vision as we are striving to make a difference in our IMA community. Pastor Scott, from your lens, why isn't, in light of what we've seen in regards to injustice, in regards to civil rights, seeing many Black Americans treatment with police, tensions that we see in the justice system, what is your lens and what is your take on why the IMA is important in that type of work?
I believe the IMA has to be a voice. We have to be the voice of the people. People need to have their feelings expressed. Dr. King said a riot is the voice of the unheard. Yeah. We want to make sure that we do not become that or allow that riot because we want people to be heard. We also have to speak truth to power. Yes. You have to let people in positions who are able to make a difference know that you're present and that you're not going away.
Yes.
One of the things that we do, and we've done down through the years, I mean, the IMA was instrumental in working with the Martin Luther King holiday. That was during my tenure as president to get Dr. King's holiday approved in the state of Arizona. That voice, lending that voice, people need to know that there's more than just one person that's speaking. When you say IMA, you're talking about a collection of churches that represent thousands of people. And if one person has a problem and they go and say, I don't like what's going on, that's one person. It's easy to ignore. When that one person says, but I got 1,000 voters behind me.
Yes.
Now they have the ability to get attention. And so I'm really glad to be a part of the IMA because we've been able to do that down through the years, to be that voice in a community where people may feel like they're unheard.
Yes, you're so right. When we talk about the IMA, we are a catalyst. We're not an island on ourselves, and we also believe in bringing people together. And that's our younger generation as well as our older generation representing our community. We have Pastor Smith with us, our new vice president of the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance. I mean, it is so, I'm so happy to have one. So finally, got a VP in the house. And I'm also excited because of your denomination coming into the IMA, because we didn't want it to look like it was a Baptist hostage takeover. But it's really interdenominational. That's in our brand. That's in our name, and we should reflect what we're trying to convey. So we're happy to have a Seventh-day Adventist pastor, congregation come and be a part. And so from your lens, why do you think it's important to be part of the IMA?
Well, I'm appreciative of first the hospitality that was extended to me when I came to the very first meeting. It was clear to me that this was not an exclusive organization, but it was an organization that was open. And it was clear to me that it was interdenominational.
Yes.
And so denomination was not important. And so I've always been a pastor that believes you have to connect with the community. And as an African-American pastor, it has been my tradition to connect with the African-American pastors because they're usually dealing with the same issues that I am.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's not that I'm exclusive of that, but that's where I usually connect because we're dealing with the same issues in our community. I came here from Lexington, Kentucky, where I pastored for 6 years before coming back to my home church, the Tucson Sharon Seventh-day Adventist Church, which was the first historically African-American church in Tucson for the Adventist church. And working there together with clergy, with the mayor, we were able, prior to my leaving, to remove Confederate monuments from the state courthouse, working together with our civic leaders and with the clergy in the community. And so when I found out about the IMA and its mission and what it was doing, I wanted to step outside of the church's comfort zone. It wasn't mine, but to be able to connect with the IMA and to be engaged with the IMA. And I know that from my experience in history, I'm the first African-American pastor to be really integrated into a ministry organization like the IMA. And so I'm grateful and I'm appreciative. And lastly, I want to say I'm glad I'm part of a new covenant so I can be vice president and not thrown into the deep end. But the IMA has been very gracious. I had the opportunity to speak at the Easter Sunrise service last year. I had the opportunity to speak at the Mount Calvary pastoral anniversary. Got a chance to go to Pastor Lewis's church on that Easter Sunday and be blessed by his ministry. So I'm grateful to be a part of this organization, and I count it a privilege.
Awesome. Real quickly, Tom, my co-host, you want to ask the IMA pastors anything?
Actually, I'm going to write on Pastor Grady's coattails with a quote. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So I may look different than everybody that's on the panel, but one of the things that we learned early on in prison, that if you treated any inmate, no matter what color they were, a certain way, then we were all going to stand up. And we as a people need to do that outside of the prison walls and stand up. And I'm just grateful to be here and to share in this conversation.
Awesome. So, and any three of you guys can take this. My concern is, as we're looking at the new generation, I think sometimes the new generation of Black and brown communities really don't fully understand that we're standing on the shoulders of those who've paved the way for us to have the rights that we have. And we know in the era of Dr. King and his movement and many other civil rights leaders, the Black church was a hub to where people can go to, and it could be a place where we can speak truth to power, a place where we organize peaceful protests, all those things. Where do you guys feel the church is at right now in these type of endeavors?
If I might, I don't know if the sign is still there in the Tucson airport, but there was a sign when you were coming off of the plane that said, if you've reached this point, do not turn around. Basically what they were saying is, the alarm's going to sound. I see in some corridors a return to what we left. And I think the church has to be that voice to say, you've come too far and you've been through too much to go back to this.
Yes.
I was grateful that we're starting to see some people raise up their voice and say no longer here. But we have to speak out when we see injustice, and we have to speak out when we see racism.
Yes.
We have to speak out when we see inequitable treatment. And part of that's going to have to be in education.
Mm-hmm.
And the recent bill that the governor vetoed
Yes.
about critical race theory.
Yeah.
All right. That's a buzzword. I mean, a lot of people who are saying it don't know what it means.
Yeah.
And so when we see things like that, we have to be a voice to say, hey, that's not right.
Yes.
Because I don't want to go backwards. We've come too far.
Right. I think we need to do a better job of educating our young people about our history. I always say, if you don't know your history, then your life is a mystery, and you get to your destiny. So there's also a Chinese proverb that said, those who drink the water should not forget those who dug the well. And we got to remind people of our struggle and where we come from, what we went through, was slavery, segregation. I always use this acronym when we're talking about the Black church, because it is unique in America and our experience in slavery and segregation and all of that. It's the strongest organization that we have in our community. It's the largest, it's the oldest, and it's the wealthiest. And when we don't support the church, which is really the hub of the African-American community, we hurt ourselves. And when you look around at the NAACP, the National Urban League, the sororities, the fraternities, the Masonic Lodge, right on down the line, all those organizations came out of the church.
Yes, they did.
So we can't get away from our foundation.
Nice.
And I want to just add with what these erudite men have already stated is the fact that we have to hold ourselves accountable as well. The prosperity message has moved away from social justice to this, wealth and health issue. And young people look at that and they have the right to critique it because they're not seeing how that impacts the community and the injustice that they see. And so, we have to make sure that we are back to grassroots as to what the purpose of the gospel really is all about. And it's not about health and wealth. It's about serving the least, the last, the lost, the left out, and the left behind. And so when we are doing those kind of issues, young people will join us because they have those same kind of passions about injustice. And we have to call it out. And even when it's our own people that we have to call out, hashtag Kanye West, and being anti-Semitic, we can't give them a pass. We've got to call out injustice wherever it is. And when we're consistent in that, our young adults want to be a part of that because they want to be a part of something greater. And we have the opportunity to reach them.
That is so true that skin folks are not always kinfolk.
Right.
So
but they've been around forever.
Yeah, they have
we
been
shouldn't
around.
act like we're just now seeing
That's
a new
right.
generation of
That's
those
right.
people that will not represent the community. People without money.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have money, you can buy your platform.
Yeah.
But the church has to be that voice.
That's right.
For the people who don't have the
We don't have a
resources.
voice. Yeah.
They can't stand up and say, come here, or watch what's happening to me.
That's right.
So I don't know whether you guys were amazed at what the Attorney General about Louisville. I was
Yeah.
shocked
I was
that
shocked, yeah,
I
some
mean
of the things
the
they
killing
found
of
in the
Breonna
war.
Taylor was horrendous.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I mean that by itself, but
Yeah.
then to find out the types of things that were going on
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
in 2000 and in the 2020s.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's amazing. And so those are the kinds of places where the church has, the African American church in particular, has to stand up and say, we're not going to tolerate that.
That's right.
Before the Justice Department found out that was going on, the black church knew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was not a shock to us.
It wasn't a shock. And so
Yeah,
that's when you have to
yeah.
say, wait, hold on, we're not going to let that happen.
Right, right. Good stuff. And so one of the things, because we only got 4 minutes now, that's how quick our time go. We have some great events coming up. Pastor Scott, I want you to share about our 3 worship services that we do a year. Pastor Lewis, you could talk about, if you could be so kind to share with us our this month's event coming up on the 20th, as far as our CAT and our town hall.
One of them was just passed, which was the Martin Luther King celebration in January. Every Easter, before Easter service at our church, we have sunrise service. And so this year that's going to be
It's going to be at Trinity
At
Missionary Baptist
Trinity.
Church.
Trinity Missionary Baptist Church at 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up and celebrate Christ. If he could get up, so can you. All right. and then our final service is a Thanksgiving service. It's always the last Tuesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving in the month of November. We believe in coming together and giving thanks. So those are the three major services that we have. But I'd also, and I'm sure Pastor Lewis may have a minute to talk about the Community Action Team. That's every month. And so I want to just pass that to him,
Yes.
because we need people to be involved in that also. But
That's
thank you,
right.
Dr. Hall, for the opportunity.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, and I want to share also with the sunrise service that we have, Pastor Turleen Cleveland, who is the pastor of Gideon Full Gospel Baptist Church. She's going to be our speaker again. That's at Trinity Missionary Baptist Church at 6 o'clock a.m., April the 9th, 2023. Yes, we have the IMA, and the IMA is all about staying connected to the community. And we have the health and wellness domain will be presented on the 20th of March, and they're going to be talking about self-care. Before you can help anybody else, you got to take care of yourself. So they're going to put a lot of emphasis on self-care, making sure that you're healthy and that you're able to take care of your loved ones and do the things that you need to do. We have 8 different domains in the IMA CAT: arts and culture, business, communication, criminal justice, education, health and wellness, political action, and religion. And actually, the IMA Community Action Team was birthed out of Trayvon Martin's situation that took
Yeah.
place in Florida. And the pastors got together and said, you know, we got to do something besides have church on Sunday morning. We got to be the church. We got to be salt and we got to be light. So we got organized so that we can be more effective. So we say, let's come together in love so we can have peace and prosperity in our community.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Just want to share one last event that IMA is involved in, and that is the role of spirituality in Black health. This is going to be at the University of Arizona, Drockman Hall, room A114, That is at 1295 North Martin Avenue on Thursday, March 23rd from 3 to 5. We will have moderator Dr. Kelly Palmer. Pastor Grady Scott will be on the panel. And Professor Amanda Shokon and yours truly. And it is not only for the university, faculty, staff, and students, but it's also available to the community, and it will be hybrid. So for those who can't make it in person, we will be live streaming as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look how time goes so fast. Before we close out, time, what you got rolled out, man? What we doing
got
in the
Market
community?
on the Move, 8 to 10 this morning at Amphi Bible Church. We're giving out 60 pounds of food for $10, and if you can't afford it, come out and we'll get it for you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anything on Fort Tucson side? Anything coming up?
Fort Tucson, we got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Faith and Finances. Please go to the website, forttucson.com. We got Faith and Finances coming up. We got the COPE, the Cost of Poverty Experience. Just really good stuff to become aware of what's going on in your community.
Awesome, awesome. Look, 1 minute left. Listen, we did really, really good. I'm going to have you guys back because there's some extra things I feel we need to go into the trenches of talking about. So please look, keep it locked. I plan to bring you back in a few more months. So be ready. I'm excited. I'm so glad I want to be able to say I wanted to bring my IMA family to my show. So I was able to pull this off. Thank you for making yourself available. Listen, this is Dr. Hope. We getting ready to sign out. If you don't have a place to go to church, Grace Temple, You can go to church. What time is your service
10
start?
o'clock.
10 o'clock. Rising Star.
10 o'clock.
Jonathan.
Sharon Seventh Day Adventist, 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Tom, where your church at? What time?
Zion City, 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 11 a.m.
All right, so you heard it, and you can always come to the Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church. Well, listen, if you don't have a place to go, come out and see about us. The reason why I like this show is because I'm on a secular show speaking to the unchurched, and because we have so many people talking to saved folks. So come out, see about us, join us next Saturday, and we love to see you at Fresh Start to next weekend. Take care. God bless.